Alright, welcome back to another episode of our Prophecy of Pendor Mountain Blade series. And yeah, so we've done a little bit. We were trying to bait that army into Deshar Lords when a massive wrench went into our plans and we declared war against them. So we obviously can't fight on their side against a unique spawn when we're at war with them. So yeah, we're just heading back. Our marshal is near Cez, so we're gonna go hang out with him, start a campaign, see what happens, see where it goes from there. It sounds like something else. Okay, Doom Riders, we don't want none of that shit. Or the Dread Legion. Pretty much any of that. So it's Kairos Duck, so he's one of the guys we definitely want to be friends with. So let's see. Head up. Where is he? On there? No? Oh. Well, actually, we might. While we're here, go to the tavern, see if we can find. Man, I've been really annoyed. I really need Anson, as he's going to be my main healer, and I can't find him anywhere. Even when I met that guy who can tell you where they are, he's not anywhere. He wasn't in any city, because sometimes they just won't be on the map at times, which is normal, but like this guy is never ever on the map, so I don't know what we're going to do, to be honest about that. I've never ever seen one of them not spawn in, so I'm hoping that it's just temporary. Oh, and we're losing money. And, like, fuck off. And he'll just spawn in somewhere and we'll grab him and it'll all be good. Because we need him. Alright, where we going, Kairos? Taking us somewhere good? Yeah, I thought so. We're going to Auriga Castle. Oh, you want to speak to me? Yes, definitely. So they send you out to scout some of the enemy locations. Roller Keep, Chaser, I never really know how to pronounce that one, and Auriga Castle. So, oh, okay. So two of us are at war with them. And that'll make our job a little bit easier. They'll be a bit distracted. It's probably a good thing because we are quite a bit weaker than they are right now. Something to note with the scouting missions, they always send you to two that are close by and one that's far away. Oh shit. Okay, that's where you went. Cool. That's cool. Can you fuck off? Holy shit. Oh, I guess I can kite him into the Shah army and scare them off. Because we kind of need ethos. Hey, get him. Oh, without the Shah army, could probably beat him. I wonder if I can join on this side. Like, how many do they have? Yeah, 1,200. Oh, piss off. I might actually be able to join on, because I haven't fought any Deshar yet. So it might be early enough for me to join. Oh god, I hope so. He's still at 100%. Yes, I can. Yes. Alright, guys, we have a shot at the Qualis gem. Cool. We have a few archers in our cross check. I'm I'm gonna be the only one understanding this joke the entire time, the cross-check joke, and you know what? That's actually pretty great. Cause I'm gonna be sitting here like, and you guys are just gonna, what the fuck? Alright. So the Dashar are mostly mounted. Cavalry archers as well. So this should be a pretty easy fight because mounted is actually quite good against this enemy because they have very good crossbowmen that you don't want to just let do whatever they want, and they have quite strong infantry that that the cavalry archers can sort of just run around, and then cavalry can split up, and the cavalry is quite good as well. So a fully mounted force against another versatile force, well, not fully mounted but mostly mounted, is usually pretty decent. Especially with the way the Dashar fight. We should do pretty well here. But I don't want to be KO'd too early either. Huh. That's some metal. That's interesting. Okay. Might put my ashes up there. Ow. Get off me, please. Oh. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I may have underestimated their strength to some degree. Run! Get out. Dear God. Yeah, it's been a while since I fought these guys, and I still keep thinking I'm stronger than I am. I think I'm still too in sync with the last playthrough. Ooh, nice. Where I was pretty damn strong at that point. So Moy is just overconfident. Which is bad, that shit will get you killed in this game. Oh, come on. That other guy boxed me in, you arsehole. Oh, that's very disappointing. That's fine. Just don't really want my archers charging in, to be honest. But they're going to now. We lost some of our mercenary sharpshooters, which is kind of a good thing because they're very, very expensive. Hopefully this guy doesn't get killed though, he's one of our Empire crossbowmen. Wounded I'm okay with, it's killed that I'm not okay with. Alright, Empire crossbowmen knocked out. Alright, that's cool, Because if they get knocked out, that's a guaranteed they can't be killed because they're out of the fight and they're not dead. So it's kind of a win-win. And the Dashar have enough troops that I'm not really worried about us losing this because it was like 1,200 versus like 700. So even though these guys are quite a strong army, you know, you can expect to win that fight. It should be fine. Especially once you've gone through these mercenary cavalrymen and the mercenary sharpshooters to come, because they're towards the top of the army, so you go through them first. Once it's just, or mostly even, the infantry left of the Battle Brothers and the Inquisitors and stuff, it gets easier. Especially against the Dashar. Cool. God, that's so scattered. This is the kind of fighting that Dashar are actually quite good at. This whole scattered, unorganized, or disorganized, sorry, I should say, kind of fighting. Like all over the place, just like, whoa, what's going on? Oh my god. Because they're just cavalry and cavalry archers being their main units kind of excel in that, you know, because they want people to be split up and sort of fighting, you know, small skirmishes everywhere, because they kite people with their cavalry archers, and then when they're kited and spread out, that's when they, you know, hit with the cavalry from the sides and stuff. Whereas, you know, if you're relying on infantry and archers and stuff, like, you want that to be regimented with your cavalry sort of free flowing wherever they happen to be. I like to set up my archers somewhere, have the infantry set up as a bit of a wall some distance in front of them, but close by, but a bit in front, so they've got, you know, room to shoot over them and stuff. And then have my cavalry off to either the right or the left, quite a little bit a ways, but close enough you're not really going too far from it. Let them advance into you, pull your cavalry slowly towards the side around them, and hit them from the side as they hit your infantry wall, like at the same time, from the side / behind. And that's pretty damn effective. Like, it's, God, losing my archers. Yeah. Yeah, that's about as effective a strategy as you can get with like a versatile army like that. Yeah, like, it's kind of hard to do a strategy that's more solid than that. The best strategies are to some degree fairly simple, like that one is, it's straightforward, you know. I might change my emblem. It's really cool, I like this emblem, but I want to try and find something that looks like crossy, you know, because I'm all about the crosses and the crossbows. Well, the crossbows, but, you know, cross check. I'm kind of turning it into crosses a little bit, I think, mentally. Yeah, these bastards, they're so strong. So expensive though. Those are the guys that I've got a few of that I'm actually kind of happy when they die. Bring me crossbowmen, and bring them cheap. Cheap but effective, that's what you want. Perfect balance for this game. You can have the best army in the world, and if you can't afford to pay for it, then you pretty much may as well not have it, because you need to be patient sometimes. You need to wait somewhere, and if you can't wait in places and you can't set up ambushes without worrying constantly about the fact that you're just bleeding money, then it makes it hard to play this game properly. So yeah, you need to be smart about it, basically. How we're looking. Yep, not too bad. We're pretty much where we need to be. You know, not quite a 1-for-1, which would be nice, but we're in the hardest part of their army right now, so that's only going to improve as we go on. And yeah, we should definitely be fine with how we're tracking. Losing more of my own archers than I would have liked to, although we lost some mercenary sharpshooters, which, you know, it was nice to have them and sort of just to make the army a bit tougher, but and we're actually going to have to be really careful once this battle's over not to be instantly swarmed by all these Deshar lords. By the way, something to bear in mind, this is actually a hostile army that's on our side. God, I hope I don't forget that, because that does not happen very often. Cool. At least mostly our crossbowmen have been surviving. It's mostly been our archers and our sharpshooters. Or the sharpshooters are crossbowmen, but they are not the crossbowmen we care for. Not the druids we're looking for, I guess you could say. I just remembered a Knight of the Eventide blocked us off and surrounded us. The back of your horse, or your friend's horse, got us knocked out straight away. God, that is one of the most annoying things that can happen in this game. When you got like just that freaking horse in front of you that just cuts you off. I was helping him out as well. You can't expect them to be able to duck and weave and all that like, you know, the human player can, of course, but at the same time, even though you know these things, you just expect them not to do that. Like, and I'm someone who's played this game a lot and I still make that mistake, so yeah. Don't expect other people to not make those mistakes. Okay, good. These helmets always just, I don't know, like I go in between really liking the design. Okay, it's cool, it's interesting, but also looks stupid. Like, what kind of helmet is that? What is he, like a strawberry twist or something? Is he an ice cream? Do I eat you, sir? Tell me your secrets. Holy shit. I've seen some shit, son. Oh yeah, that's why they have all these Mettenheim units, because they're they've actually got a Mettenheim mercenary group following them. I forgot about that. I was wondering why they had a bunch of Mettenheim units. Mettenheim units, by the way, literally some of the best infantry in the game. These guys are like pretty low level ones, and even then they're still half decent, you know, like they're half decently armored. They've got, you know, a bit of a variety of melee weapons, and they've all got shields. But when the Mettenheim units get really good is when you get to their two-hander guys. Their polearm guys are pretty awesome as well, but the two-handers are objectively, like statistically, stronger, so I tend to go for them, as you can imagine. Especially because they are unique units that are usually harder to acquire. You know, you have to recruit them in taverns and stuff, so you're not ever really going to have full armies of them as a general rule, unless you put a lot of time and effort into making that a reality, which, you know, that actually sounds like a lot of fun, and I might do that one day, with probably a complement of archers to back them up. But their two-handed guys are just, holy crap, tanky, full plate mail, huge damage from these massive two-handed weapons, which of course have a ridiculous amount of reach, as you can imagine. Like, oh my god, they're crazy good. Like, if you want to incorporate infantry into your army at all, and I usually would pick them up whenever I see them, and I would recommend you do the same thing. Mettenheim, usually get them at that level of the guys I was showing you before, the regular infantry, which are quite cheap. They're these guys here. They're not too bad as well. So you can get a bunch of them for fairly cheap in a tavern, because that's where you're going to get them, unless you're lucky and you can, you know, rescue a bunch of them as prisoners. Like, get them if you see them, and, you know, unless you're doing a no infantry army like I am currently. It's the only reason why I'm not picking them up, because they are free. I don't know if I should worry about how much I'm swearing. They are awesome. They're literally some of the best infantry in the game when they're leveled up, and because they use two-handeds, they're a good like alternative to your more basic shielded infantry. So, you know, you complement them with Fier's Vein infantry, for example. Some of the best factional, at least anyway, shielded infantry that are easy to get in the game. So if you put them together as, like, you know, your infantry core, some good shielded, put your shielded infantry at the front and get those guys to follow up behind, you will just run through enemies with them. And yeah, like I said, if you're gonna make like an army dedicated to sort of that kind of style of fighting, I'd probably have a good core of archers as well. Maybe even crossbowmen would be better, because you're looking for that hard-hitting damage with that kind of armor piercing too, and also they last longer on the ammo, which would be good for a more infantry-based army, because you kind of probably going to be rigid and defensive, holding a hill somewhere if possible, rather than pushing aggressively, because it's much easier to be aggressive when you've got cavalry on your side. Yeah, that's probably how I would do it. And damn, like, God, I want to do that. Might even do that at some point during this playthrough if I get the chance. We're very crossbow focused, that's our overall theme, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to experiment with other units. Like, it just means that crossbows are our main focus. Plus, I like to often go archer armies for a while at the start while you're building up, because you can sit your units back and take less casualties and stuff, especially when you don't have like really good surgery yet. Like you saw, like once they got knocked out and they weren't holding position anymore, like with Yaj is just running in. God, Facebook, that's really annoying. I'm going to close that. Sorry, just bear with me. It's so loud. Alright, cool. That's better. Yeah, what was I saying? Shit, I totally lost track of my thought because of that. Okay. Still got some of the cavalry left. So still going through. This is a big fight, guys. And that was why I was really annoyed by being knocked out so early and by such an annoying way to be knocked out. I mean, like I said, it's just as much my fault as anything. I should always bear in mind that, you know, that AI aren't smart with their horse movement, and they can block you in like that. And I saw those guys. I just wanted to duck and weave through them and kill them all, which I usually pull off perfectly. But I'm gonna blame it on it was a long day, and it was busy. Work was well, the usual. It's always busy there, but it's been pretty busy, especially this week. So yeah, that doesn't help. Alright, cool. We're getting more of their infantry come through, although they're really doing good in the kill feed. Let's check how we're tracking. Should still be okay with how we're going. We've got about 400 of ours out and about just under 300 of theirs. That's perfectly fine with the margins that we have. And like I said, we're only gonna... Oh no, my Radiant Cross Plague Warden died. Oh, that's a shame. Oh well. If we get this Qualis gem and don't get hunted down like the vermin we are by this Deshara afterwards, then this will definitely be worth it. I mean, to be honest, even if we did get hunted down, as long as they didn't steal the Qualis gem off of us in that fight, this would still be worth it, because we really need some Qualis gems. They are currently the most important thing for us. Oh, I totally forgot about the free one in what was it called again? Rain. There is a free Qualis gem in a chest in Rain, but that's actually probably where I'm gonna store my first few until I've sort of got a good opportunity to go and cash them all in. The first few of my Qualis gems I'm going to invest into elixirs, which I'll go through more at length later what that actually does, but I'll go over it a bit briefly now. So there's a guy, what's his name, not Brother Randolph, the other one, can't remember his name right now, it'll come back to me. He floats around the taverns. He's a unique character that you walk into. He sells books as his main normal function, but his most important function, his unique function, is when, of course you need a Qualis gem to do this, 1 for 1 in this trade. He offers 3 different potions. We're going to get the elixir, and you can experiment with all 3. I recommend the elixir, at least if you're not used to it and you don't really know what to use your Qualis gems for. I recommend the elixir as sort of the most easy to get value out of for all of them. All 3 of these potions permanently increase stats. The first 2 increase your stats, and weapon proficiencies. And when I say stats, I mean attributes and skill points, depending on which one you get. So the first one gives you weapon proficiencies. It gives you strength, agility, and charisma. And I think you get one skill point as well to put in one of your skills. The second one gives you intelligence only though, which is why I'm not going to go for that one. And I often suggest to anyone who will play this mod, probably don't go this one, because what you can do is just put most of your normal levels into intelligence and then get the elixir to balance everything else out. Anyway, so the second one gives you intelligence, which of course gives you a second skill point on top of the first one it gives you, and no weapon proficiencies, which is the other reason why it's not as good. Oh jeez, the sharpshooters. The third one, now this one's a lot more interesting. It's also the least solid out of all of them, and probably the last one I would recommend, especially for newer players, in terms of getting value out of it. Now the third one has percentage chances of doing a bunch of different things. It's like 30% this, like 20% that, 10% that, and depending on, I can't remember them all off the top of my head because there's actually quite a few, but they're very good buffs like weapon proficiencies, stats and all that. But these ones actually go on your companions, not yourself. So in some ways that's great. For obvious reasons, it's affecting, like, I think it's when you have a full set of companions, it's like 10 people, I think, from memory, because I think it's 11 with you and just them. So I'm pretty sure it's 10 people you're affecting if you've got a full set of, a full set of companions that get on with each other. But because they're percentage chances, there is percentage chance included in there that it will do nothing. It's not like 100% thing, whereas at least with the other 2 potions, if you use it, you're getting a guaranteed effect. So you're always going to have, and it's a fairly high percentage chance that nothing will happen. With each one you use, you're always going to have some companions that get nothing, and then some companions that get some stuff, and it's sort of all over the place. I would only recommend using this. Pretty much the only time that this is worth spending a Qualis gem on is if you're looking to create your own knighthood order and you want to make your companions really strong so that you can train your knighthood order units higher with your companions, which is something I'm going to get into further down in this series because we're definitely not ready to be doing that yet. So I'll explain how that whole thing works. But to break it down simply, when you make your own unique knighthood order, your companions can train them to make them stronger, so they can, literally like their strength and combat proficiencies and stuff will improve. And obviously, the stronger your companions, the stronger they can train them. So like it sets a skill cap in a sense. But you can also invest money into them on top of that, which you can do with every knighthood order as long as you own a city, own a castle or town, I should say, that has that knighthood order unit base in it. So you can invest it starts off at 10 grand, then 20, then 40, then 80, and doubles as it goes. But with your own unique one, and this is obviously unique to them, you can train them with your companions for free. You have to send your companion off for 1 to 4 weeks, and I recommend 4 weeks because you get more out of it. They just get more value out of the training. So for example, 1 4-week stint is better than 4 1-week stints from the testing that I've done, or at least it seems that way. So you may as well send them for 4 weeks at a time, but cycle your companions so that you're never just sending one away all the time and he's never leveling up. But I digress. So you can do this training on top of the spending money on them. And the idea is to train them first as much as your companions can train them, get them to the point where they're literally getting nothing out of the training anymore, and then invest a whole bunch of money into them on top of that, because the money permanently increases the stats just like the training would, but the training does it for free. So if you're going to be doing this and you really want your unique Knighthood Order units to be the best in the game, like the absolute best, like really strong, like I'm talking able to compete with Noldor strength, then it can be viable to invest the Qualis gems into, into your companions. Especially because your companions do just follow AI coding, and they're not very smart. Although you're watching me, you'd think I'm an idiot as well. From this fight, I should not have been caught out in that way. Obviously they're only going to level to a certain degree, whereas as you get better at the game, you're going to level faster. Makes sense? Fairly straightforward stuff once you sort of understand how all the systems work. Well, the complex systems, I shouldn't really take away from that. This game is quite complex. But once you have have some 1,000 or so hours plus, like I do in it, you learn how it works, and then it makes a lot more sense. So yeah, you could do that, but unless you're doing that, I wouldn't really recommend investing any Qualis gems into that potion, that third one. Because not only are these 3 potions available, there's also other stuff you can do with Qualis gems. For example, we've been speaking about the Knighthood Orders. A lot of the objectively stronger Knighthood Orders require a Qualis gem to found an order in a castle or a town. Creating your own unique one and the founding of any of your unique ones after that require a gem as well, each time you found them. So like this is a gem each time you found these orders. Or create a chapter house after founding it, I should say, is more accurate. So like, if I'm going to be doing this as well at some point, because I want to join the Ebony Gauntlet Order, but one doesn't exist. I've had a good look around, I can't find them in all the usual spots, so I don't think one exists in this playthrough. There's only a percentage chance of it even spawning to the game. So I need a Qualis gem to found one so I can join them. And then I'm also going to be making my own unique order with crossbowmen later, and that's going to take a Qualis gem to found it and then build any more after that. So I need 1 to found the Ebony Gauntlets. I'm not going to build any more chapter houses for Ebony Gauntlet after that, so I only need 1 for it. That's still 1 Qualis gem, which is how long has this fight been going for? One of these fights that you win, and on the off chance they don't escape at the end, which he might escape even after this whole fight. And I was only lucky that this army happened to sort of fight them at the exact same time for me to be able to join in, right? So you think about that. That puts it into perspective, right? How long has this fight been going on for? Not an easy fight. A lot of things had to align for this to work. And even when we win, he might just escape the battle. So no Qualis gem possibility. So like you need 1 just for 1 order, just for 1 potion. And there's also another guy, which is the brother Randolph that I was speaking about, who will sell you a map to Al Careers, I think it's called, which is 1 Qualis gem. And then to get a unique weapon from those guys who are at Alcariz is another Qualis gem, and then to make that unique weapon as strong as it can be from memory, because I don't usually do that because there are other really strong weapons in the game, like the one I've got, although it'll be much better when I upgrade it at the blacksmith, is a third Qualis gem, for example. And there's also Quickfen and his shop in Laria. So you can open his shop with one Qualis gem and he sells Noldor goods, which is definitely worth it. Or get this, and this is in no way worth it. Like, just there's no point to ever doing this. You can give him one Qualis gem for some Noldor units, but that's one gem for some Noldor units. It's not even that many, and it's percentage based on whether or not you get the best or the worst. Although the worst Noldor units are still good, but you know, as soon as they die, and they will eventually die, you know, you can't keep them alive forever. That's a Qualis gem investment completely gone, you know. So that's, I can never see the value of spending it on that, to be honest, when you could be just buying more potions or setting up more knighthood orders, you know. Like, there are obviously quite a few knighthood orders that you can found without a Qualis gem. It requires a lot of gold, and you need a certain level of honor. These things you need to spend as well as the Qualis gem for the expensive ones, just FYI. It's not just the Qualis gem. But like, yeah, like when you think about what you can do with a Qualis gem, why would you spend it on some Noldor units that, while are the best units in the game, they will eventually die. Fuck it. I mean, they might even die one battle later, and that's your Qualis gem gone. Or you could permanently increase your attributes for the rest of the game. Right? Pretty clear cut, if you ask me. Although, when you see how strong Noldor units are, you're going to be tempted to do it. And in fact, I think everyone, when they're first playing the mod, is like, oh, yeah, get a Noldor army. I thought it was one Qualis gem and then you can just recruit them from him. You know, like, just pay money for them to open up the option like a shop. And I think that's what a lot of people think the first time, because it seems more realistic. Because a Qualis gem every time, yeah, there's just no way it's worth it. Wow. The mixed bag of the Shire infantry actually did pretty well against these guys. These are pretty strong infantry units, although these are the more mid-tier infantry for this. We're getting near the end, guys, if they only got infantry to send against us. Whew, this has been a long battle. Really wish I didn't get knocked out straight away. Oh dear, that's fine. It gave us a good opportunity to sort of just speak about what we're trying to do with Qualis gems and shed some light on that. So now you guys have a better idea of why this is so important, why we need to find these unique spawns and try and capture their leaders. God, we better capture this guy, because we have enough prisoner management that we really should be capturing him. Well, statistically, considering that we've already fought one and he escaped off screen as while I was grinding in between episodes. You know, we have enough prisoner management that out of 2 you should get 1, realistically, statistically speaking. And we really need some Qualis gems. Yeah, alright. Okay, guys. Moment of truth. Oh, wrong button. Jeez. Yeah, my brain's not working very well. That hurt our army a lot. Good to see you here. Yes! Oh, okay. Alright. You're my prisoner now. And let's see. Whoa, that was a lot of upgrades for our companions. That's good. It's nice to see them getting stronger as well. Okay. Okay, and we'll dump the weakest thing, because that's where we'll put our Qualis gem. Alright, now we need to be really careful here, and I'm only saying this just to remind myself. This is a hostile army we're on the side of, that we're fighting with, I should say. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to recruit archers again, even though I want to stick to crossbowmen. This will also mean less units for the enemies to recruit as well. Again, bearing in mind, Pendle units look really cool. The melee do, anyway. Okay. Alright. So, first things first, we take the Qualis gem off of him, because it does give them an opportunity to steal it from us, but if we get defeated, all of our prisoners are definitely lost. So, goes through some dialogue. You've defeated me, you know, there's a bunch of things you can do with me, you can ransom me back, blah blah. He explains it to some degree. So you can get diamonds, which you can exchange for a lot of money, but it's just money, not worth it, trust me. Even if you're feeling poor, you'll figure out ways to get money. Excellent, I'll accept a Qualis gem, that's what we're going to do. But you should return to your homeland. I'm just going to go through them and never come back again, so you will never see him. You don't want that. You want to farm the Qualis gems off them. I will release you if you show me the secrets of unique equipment. Now this one you want to consider, but definitely not for this guy. He will show you his unique, like his faction's unique equipment for your unique knighthood order, and you can equip them with that equipment. So this is probably only worth it with the Noldor lords, because unique Noldor equipment, and you can still get some Noldor equipment just by being friends with them, but getting their unique Noldor equipment, which is like their more top tier stuff, is pretty huge. But you should be advised that, like, when you pick this one, it's kind of the same. If you do this, he will never come back. So especially for this guy who you really want to farm Qualis gems off, and his equipment is pretty good but not amazing, it's not worth it. Only your death will suffice. Basically the same as this, except you're just more honorable. You kill him. I will accept a Qualis gem. Okay. Alright guys, now I don't want to get too excited because we might just end up losing it in 2 seconds, but yay, our first Qualis gem. Do not sell it. It's worth way more than 6,300. Okay, straight to Ethos. Alright, okay. Oh, yes, I know it was a bloodbath, but it was worth it. So now they are trying to follow us, but they didn't aggro us straight away, so we're fine. We're fine. And they shouldn't be able to attack Ethos with how much that weakened their army. They lost a lot of units. A lot killed and quite a few wounded as well. Jeez, what time is it, guys? That was a pretty long fight. It's probably all we're going to have time for today, but I'll sell off this loot at least. Get rid of all that. Careful not to sell the Qualis gem, and we'll move it up here. I like to keep my stuff that is more item-like, but I'm not selling before my food. This is just a bit of inventory management for you. Feel free to follow how I do it, or do it however you want. I find it easy to do this way so that you kind of know everything up here don't sell. Then you've got your food as the buffer, and then anything below here is, sell worthy, or at least up. I put the stuff I'm going to upgrade to my companions here as well, because I'm not that concerned about it. Yeah, so that's how I split it up. Feel free to do whatever you think's best, but I think this is pretty clean. I explained this before as well, but I'll go over it again. If you're wondering, if you have 6 horses in your inventory, it makes your party speed overall faster to a maximum of 6, hence I have 6. Actually, speaking of, these horses suck. I might get some better ones. 5, oh jeez. this one because, yeah, that's cool. Alright, cool. I'll wait for some time, just let them melt away. Alright guys, I'm going to cap it off there. Got our first Qualis gem. Looking good. We didn't get much else done in the way that battle just took forever, but that is perfect. That was the most important thing we could have done in the whole game. So, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next one.